3 tips for making friends with your beautiful, magical, sweet, royally bitchy inner critic. All right, so let's break this down. Let's start with the role of your subconscious mind. I know that sounds really heavy and deep, but we'll break it down here. See, your subconscious mind's prime directive, its core job, is to preserve, protect you, and keep you safe. So your subconscious mind is that part of you that blinks your eyes for you, beats your heart for you, pumps your blood for you, and it breathes for you, all without you having to think about it consciously. It just does it. It keeps you alive. Now, in the same way that it protects your physical body and keeps it safe, it does the same for your emotional, mental, and spiritual body. How does it do that? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what determines how we respond to circumstances or events in our lives. See, by the time we are 4 years old, 50% of our subconscious programming is firmly in place. The patterns, the beliefs, the thoughts that we have, the perceptions that we have about ourselves and the world around us. By the time we're 8 years old, around 80% of our subconscious programming, our beliefs about ourselves and how we see the world around us, are firmly in place. And by the time we are 19 years old, about 95% of that programming is firmly in place. So what that means is that how we respond to the world in our lives is largely determined by the subconscious programs, beliefs, and patterns that we developed in the first 19 years of our lives as children. So think about it. If you are primarily running on the programs that you learned when you were under the age of 19, by the time you were 4, by the time that you were 8, by the time you were 19, how much do you think you are running on full throttle in your full healed adult evolved life? You're running on patterns and beliefs and thoughts that were created when you were a child. And the crazy thing is that often we are not even aware of it, right? We're just on automatic pilot. So how does your beautiful, magical, sweet, royally bitchy inner critic rear its head? See if any of these sound familiar. Oh my God, I am such a freaking basket case. Oh my God, why do I keep doing that? Why? God, you cannot go to that beach party. You are frumpy, lumpy, and crepey, and ain't nobody want to see that. Hey, getting a little big for your britches there, aren't you, sunshine? Do not say anything. You will sound like a freaking idiot. Shh, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Any of those sound familiar? Well, that is your lovely, soon-to-be new bestie. That is your inner critic, also known as your subconscious mind. And guess what? It's doing its job. Remember how we talked about the prime directive of the subconscious mind is to preserve, protect, and keep you safe? And that it does that with your physical body by blinking your eyes for you, beating your heart for you, pumping your blood for you, breathing for you, all without you having to think about it consciously. Remember that? Right. So in the same way, its prime directive is to preserve, protect, and keep you safe emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So how does it do that?
Well, if you imagine that your subconscious mind is this little pouch here, and you can see it's got these little drawstrings on it, right? Well, if you imagine that your subconscious mind is a warehouse for all of the memories that you've ever had in your entire existence, the good, bad, ugly, big, small, all of them. And when we're children, for instance, and we experience some sort of a significant emotional event or a violation or a betrayal or a trauma of some sort, and we don't have the emotional or mental development or intellectual development or maturity, or perhaps the tools or resources or even the basic support and safety to process it. And so because its job is to preserve, protect you, and keep you safe, what your subconscious mind will do is it will take those unresolved memories or experiences that are too painful to process or that you don't yet have the development, support, or skills to safely handle yet, and it will put them in this little satchel and it will pull the strings on them and keep them safely tucked away. It's literally how we stay intact and survive childhood trauma and significant emotional events. Now, listen, a significant emotional event can be something as seemingly harmless or inconsequential as being asked to read in front of the class in second grade and the teacher making a comment or another student snickering when you stumbled over a word. And from that point forward, you decided that you must not be a good reader, that you must be stupid, that your brain must not work as well as everyone else's. And it becomes a block or a subconscious program that stays with us until we gain resolution on it. So back to the satchel. What this beauty will also do though, because again, its job is to protect you and preserve and keep you safe. When it knows that you are ready, that it's safe, and you have the resources and support that you need, is it will open up the little satchel, open up those drawstrings, and it will represent those memories to you to allow you to gain resolution on them on a deeper level. Right? So what that means is that when old shit resurfaces, we don't have to freak out and be like, why is this happening? Why am I still thinking about this? Why can't I let this go? Right? Instead, you can trust that it's only coming up because you are ready and have the support and the resources that you need to gain resolution on it. Oh, and here's something else you really need to know, especially if you're someone who has done a lot of work on yourself and you're committed to your personal growth. When you've worked on a major issue in your life and you think that you've healed it, and then that bugger resurfaces again, like forever later, here's the deal. It doesn't mean that you haven't done the work on it that you thought you had, or that you are in some way wounded or broken more than you thought you were. And it's definitely not coming up just to bug you or get in your face or piss you off. It is coming up only for this reason, so that you are able to gain healing on it on a deeper level than you were able to gain before. Not, I didn't do the work, or I must be more messed up than I thought I was. Simply an opportunity to heal it on a deeper level than you were able to before. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That sabotaging, critical, annoying, defeating inner critic is our own subconscious mind. And it's just doing its primary job of trying to preserve, protect, and keep us safe. So, our job is this: not to necessarily change those programs, but rather to create a new relationship with them, to play with that inner critic in a new way, to notice it and go, oh, I see you. Oh, you sneaky bugger, you, I see you. It gives us choices to play with it in a different way. So here are 3 tips for making friends with your beautiful, magical, sweet, royally bitchy inner critic. Number 1, acknowledge it. Call a thing a thing. It will immediately begin to disempower it. See, what keeps us stuck is the shame, secrecy, and judgment that we keep that thing shrouded in. So call a thing. Just simply acknowledge what it is. 2, have compassion and grace. Recognize that it is doing its primary job of preserving, protecting, and keeping you safe in the best way it knows how. So maybe even thank it for doing its job. And number 3, surrender. Don't resist it or judge it. Lean into it. Ask what is trying to be revealed so that it can be healed. Ask what is trying to be revealed so that it can be healed. And here, most importantly, bonus tip, thank your inner critic for doing its job and doing its best to protect you and keep you safe in the best way it knows how. It wants your highest and greatest good. It is doing its job. It just doesn't realize that the threat that it had to protect you from way back then no longer exists. And now it no longer serves you to use those same self-protective defenses that you had to use back then. Now it actually keeps you disconnected. It keeps you from those deeply connected, authentic relationships that you deserve and desire, from the fulfillment that you deserve and desire, from making the impact you desire and deserve in your life and in the world. So be gentle with that inner critic. Know that it's there to protect you and keep you safe as best it knows how to do. Acknowledge it, embrace it, and love it right where it is. Let it know that you see it, right? Acknowledge it. Ask it what it needs. And then whatever it needs, give it that. Like, oh, you little bugger, what do you need? You sweet thing, you. Maybe it's feeling like you're taking too much risk and putting yourself out there too much. Maybe you're starting a new adventure and it needs to be reassured that it is safe for you to put yourself out there and let your voice be heard. Maybe it needs a hug. Maybe it needs a nap. Maybe it needs a snack or a walk or a good talk. Whatever it is, do what feels good to your soul. Stop fearing that inner critic. Stop resisting it. Surrender to it. Allow it. Give it what it needs. It is simply trying to reveal what needs to be healed so that you can gain resolution on it on a deeper level than you were able to do before. So make friends with it. Chances are it's going to be around for a while, like probably till you die. So you might as well be friends with it, right? Look, if you're ready to dance with your shadow and make friends with your inner critic so that you can be your courageously authentic, unapologetically badass, fierce, flawed self and make the difference you've always wanted to make in your life and in the world, check out the links to the resources and the other videos in the description that might support you. And please, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Oh, and hit that little notification bell thingy. That notifies you whenever I release new content, which will be like once or twice a week. So I won't get too annoying, but yet it'll be enough to keep you interested and exciting and keep you coming back. So be watching every Monday for a new release at 6 p.m. Central. Now, go be your brilliant, badass, deeply flawed, lovely, beautiful self. See you soon.
Hopper. Yeah, I'm not sure that's gonna work. We're such a dork. We are just on automatic pilot. Oh, holy cow. Ba 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 ba. Yikes. Are you freaking kidding me? Burr.